crime unit. Violence was their foe, and that stoic determination was evidenced in the leadership of that unit. Deputy Inspector Richard Savage, as the commanding officer of the street crime unit, and with the awesome police work of only 150 members of the service, was responsible for the arrests of numerous dangerous felons, and in so doing, removed 50% of all the illegal firearms confiscated in each year of their existence. Captain John P. Walsh, serving as executive officer of the street crime unit, rallied those in his command, forging special and unique bonds with and amongst those he led in that war on crime. Let us take this moment to remember that severe losses were incurred in that effort. During the tenure of the street crime unit, SCU as it was known, 4 dedicated members made the supreme sacrifice. If I may, let us take a moment here this evening to honor their memory, their service, and their life. I would ask you now to rise at attention now as we join in a time-honored tradition of calling the roll of honor. Please respond, all of you, after each name by indicating absent. Street Crime Unit, Detective Abraham Walton. Absent. Detective Horace Lord. Absent. Police Officer Robert Bilodeau. Absent. Police Officer Kevin Gillespie. Absent. And 2 others, Police Officer Stephen Driscoll. Absent. Thank you. And Police Officer Santos Valentin. Absent. Who gave their lives in service in the violence of 9/11. I thank you. Please be seated. A special note, if I may, if there are members of that elite street crime unit among us this evening, they are standing tall and proud in remembrance of their fallen comrades and of all their combined accomplishments, and as they would recall their honorable motto, we still own the night. In honoring these 2 awesome leaders of men with the Valor and Service Award, allow me to introduce them to you via a very short bio. Deputy Inspector Richard Savage, affectionately known as Dick Savage, is one member of a police family tradition. His dad served before him as commander of the, deputy inspector of the 4-6 precinct. His son Richard has recently retired as a lieutenant. His brother Roger worked the 401 squad, and his nephew Roger is with the street crime unit and now ESU. All having distinguished themselves in pursuit of their law enforcement careers. After a stint in the Navy and serving with honor, Dick came to the job as a street cop in TPF, the Tactical Patrol Force, not the People's Friend. He rose through the ranks, garnering the respect of both his peers and his superiors. One of the original members of the Tactical Patrol Force, he is the recipient of 2 Medals of Valor, presented by the City of New York. And then in 1972, he was on to the Street Crime Unit, and as they say, the rest is history. As commanding officer of the Street Crime Unit, Dick would lead from the front, intimidating to the bad guys and inspirational to his SCU team. Dick coined that pride-evoking motto, "We own the night," and they did. He has been described, and I quote, "the best of who we are." Dick has been retired for a few years, but still he leads by example, jumping out of perfectly good airplanes, diving the depths of the 7 seas as an avid scuba enthusiast, and skiing the mountains and enjoying the big skies out west. He is definite proof that there certainly is life after retirement. A man whom I've had the privilege, distinct pleasure of knowing, both on and off duty. He asked me to remember him fondly to his friends here this evening and his colleagues. He cannot be with us. He is sharing precious time with his sweetheart and his pursuits, and is proud to be honored and recognized this evening by his beloved friends. A moment ago, Jack Walsh gave me a little tidbit of information. I thought it was interesting. Dick came up through the ranks in street crime as a sergeant, a lieutenant, captain, and then a deputy inspector. That's unusual and extremely astounding. I'm extremely proud to have known him through these many years, and I'm proud to call him a friend. Through his career, I take that back. If I may, as executive officer of the Street Crime Unit, Captain John P. Walsh, otherwise known as Cocktail Jack, and he is here with us this evening. and still is loved and respected as a lead from the front kind of boss. Jack served his country in the U.S. Army, and then he brought his leadership skills to the job. And as he moved through the ranks to captain, garnered the respect and admiration of all with whom he interfaced. Always with a supportive word for his comrades, he would guide and nurture their careers. If you bear with me a moment, thank you. Always with a supportive word for his comrades, he would guide and nurture their careers, offering sober insight whenever necessary, and with the boldness to take down a door and a few bad guys in the process. Throughout his career, Jack was selected to serve in a number of detective squads and did several tours in the narcotics division. He received more than 75 departmental awards for personal valor. In addition, he received a large number of law enforcement awards, including, and we're proud to say, the New York Shield's Hero of the Month, way back in 1990. I was there too, so it was I recall one November day, the 10th of November to be precise, when we celebrated the U.S. Marine Corps birthday in the offices of SCU. Hoorah! And on Randall's Island, that was the headquarters for street crime. All branches of the military were present, all branches of the military were present. Service to our country and our city were recognized and fostered. His pride in service inspired all who knew and worked with Jack. And when it did come time to take down a well-armed criminal enterprise, Captain Jack was out front. Reverend Bill Kalajian provided support as their unit chaplain. And then it was into the streets with God, professionalism, and those men of SCU who owned the night. With Jack and Dick leading the finest and to many times successful conclusions. As a side note, and it is a testament to his own successes, Jack freely admits his one claim to fame is that I knew Dick Savage. Jack continues to offer his confidence since his retirement as a learned professor at the John Jay College of Criminal Justice in Manhattan. He is well respected and recognized as a friend and as a professor, passing on his wisdom to a new generation of men and women in their pursuit of justice. I am proud to have known him these many years. I treasure our friendship, Jack, and I wish you well in all your pursuits. These two men, Deputy Inspector Richard Savage as commanding officer, and Captain Jack Walsh as executive officer of the Street Crime Unit, have been leaders of the finest. They have distinguished themselves in service to our beloved country and to our city. We have been fortunate that men of this caliber have offered themselves, their ideals, their honor, and their decency in service to us all. At this time, I would ask Captain John P. Walsh and representing Deputy Inspector Richard Savage in his absence, Reverend William G. Kalajian, to come forward to be recognized by the Executive Board of the New York State Shields and to receive their respective awards for their valor and service. Jack Rank has privileges. I understand that. It's going to reflect Savage and the award that goes along with that. Jack, you're next. Jack said to me, "Gee, Bobby, I'm going to come up here and I got butterflies in my stomach." I said, "In the Marine Corps, it's okay to have butterflies, and you just got to get them up in formation." Jack, congratulations.
I was so happy I received a phone call from Dick Savage, and he said, "I'm in Florida. My son has got something he's got to do tonight," and he said that I thought of you as representing me for the receiving of whatever plaque they're going to give me. And I said I'd be delighted to do it. I'd just like to tell you that Dick Savage once gave me a plaque which says, "We own the night, but you own our hearts." And I treasure that after 42 years in the police department.
Good night all, good evening, good night. Not a speech, just a couple of words that I like to say from my heart. It starts off with thank you. Thank you to all of you tonight to think of me with this beautiful award. And thank you to Danny Kaplan, our president, and Reverend Bill, our chairman. And one guy I really got to thank is the guy right over here, Bobby Stork, from day one, doing the heavy lifting for the Shields. Doing all those things. You like those medals? That beautiful medal? Bobby did. All these meetings that have to be done, all that hard work, Bobby does. And he's a stealth candidate. He's out there under the radar. But Bobby, thank you for all you do. I just want to say something because I remember April 1990. We started this Shields. And we had the gentleman say 2,200 people killed that year. That's right, about 7 today. And unfortunately, a lot of them were cops. And Bobby, one time we had a Shields meeting. We honored 8 police officers. And all 8 of them had been shot. 8 out of 8. And Bob Stork thought about an idea that why can't we honor them with a Purple Heart? And when I first went to Charlie Jardines from the Bank Robbery Task Force, who survived 7 gunshot wounds. God bless him. I saw him last week. He's doing well. And, you know, you come here and the idea of the Purple Heart, we honored this young officer tonight, young sergeant, I should say. It's now adopted by many departments across this entire country. And Bobby Stork, I think, does have your fingerprints all over it. So thank you. I just want to say one thing, and I'm going to be quiet. They just asked me if I could present an award, and I'm going to do that in a second, so this is going to be a little abbreviated. I think about the Shields, I think about people like yourselves who do this work. I think about it every day because it's what I do now. I teach criminology. And I think about what I was going to say tonight, getting this beautiful award from this organization that I hold so dear, and the only thing I could think about was legacies, what things really mean. I was thinking about the day that I will die, whenever that will be. It will be said, and said correctly, that my life amounted to very, very little. I didn't think great thoughts. I didn't write great books. I didn't accomplish great deeds. And the world will be very little changed by me having been here. And that's the truth. But on the day that I will die, it will also be said, and it's correctly said again, that throughout my life, I always chose to keep the company of heroes. Everything that I've done, everything that I've accomplished, everything that's been going, I learned it from you. Bobby said that I know Dick Savage. Dick Savage to me has been a guiding star in my entire career, a guy I think the world of. And I cannot thank you all enough for the work you do, the stories you hear every night, every time we have a meeting. They're just one story better after another. I look in your faces, I just see men and women of honor. I know I'm doubly blessed because not only are you my heroes, but I'm very proud to know you're my friends. So thank you for that. I'm making one deal, though, with Bobby Stork tonight, because I like giving awards away, I don't like getting them. I'm not accepting this. I'm going to hold it as a custodian. The same way every one of you is serving police officers, you get a shield. You know, it doesn't belong to you. You own the safety pin, that's what you own. Alright, you only say 15 cents, they sell you the pin. But the shield belongs, you carry it now, you carry it on. Heroes carried it before you, heroes will carry it after you. And tonight I'm going to accept this, not for me, not for Dick Savage, but I'm going to accept it for our men and women who, every night at 6 p.m., down the road here in Randall's Island, will go out to the worst places in this city with one intention in mind, to lock up the worst people we can find. The debt that we owe these people is insurmountable. I'll carry this, but I'm accepted, only way I'll accept it, I'm accepted for my brothers and sisters in the street crime unit. If you work there, God bless you always. Semper Fi will always own the night.
Thank you, everybody. With the last three presentations going to be done, these are very, very special presentations, as were the one that just went to Jack Walsh. This is important presentation because it represents our bosses, some of the bosses of the jobs and the departments. You guys, when we all start up, I mean, I see in the back there our past President Billy McCormick. I'm sorry, Bill. Detective Bill McCormick usually just went around the corner. But Billy was one of the presidents of the Shields too. The reason I mentioned Billy brought me into the Shields. When I joined the Shields quickly, I was a correction officer with the New York State Department of Corrections. And on the outfit, they call it an outfit. The uniform we wore looked like a bus driver's uniform. People used to break my chops all the time. And I was standing at the door in the Eastwood Manor, second floor, and we're doing a presentation. This is in the 90s, early 90s. And I got my uniform on, I'm stopping everybody. I'm a corrections guy, I don't know all the cops, so I can get away with that. I don't know who a captain is, I don't know who a deputy inspector is, I can't get in trouble. So one guy comes in plain clothes, he comes up to me, he goes, "You're doing a fine job, young man." So I don't know who he is. So I said, "Well, are you here for the meeting?" He goes, "Yeah, guys, come." I stand in the background, he goes, "I'm not going to eat anything, but here's my dues." And I go, "I'm a member, but I'm just paying for dinner." That was Captain Terrence Tonic. I was a New York State Correction Officer, not with the NYPD, because he did not know who he was. As my career progressed, as my life progressed, as my career didn't go to the NYPD, I learned about Captain Terrence Tonic. The two gentlemen tonight are those kind of men. What we call boss's boss or a cop's cop. These are the people that this is the kind of person. For the first presentation, I'd like to call up from the Village of Irvington, Sergeant Mike Ford.
Good evening. On behalf of the Irvington Police Association, I'd like to congratulate all of tonight's award winners and thank the New York State Shields for their efforts in recognizing the accomplishments of those here and in law enforcement across the region. Tonight I'm here as president of the Irvington Police Association and offer our thanks for your recognition of our chief, Michael Cerrone, the Boss of the Year. I learned the Chief Cerrone's award maybe about 6 to 8 weeks ago. It was an ordinary day, but unfortunately I had just left his office and we had been in a little bit of a heated argument. Desk officer said there was a call for me. I took it. I believe it was Dan from the Shields Association, said the chief is going to receive the Boss of the Year award at our December meeting. My initial thought was, this has got to be another call for the Irvington, New Jersey Police Department. I asked him if he was sure if he had the right department. He's like, "Yeah, the board voted last night that Chief Cerrone's going to get it." I said, "All right, Chief Cerrone, that guy just left. He's going to get Boss of the Year." As I took a little time to reflect and think about it and what the Boss of the Year award meant, I realized he really did deserve it. I talked to the members of our organization, and we really all came together, and we were proud to have Chief Cerrone receive the award. Chief Cerrone is well-respected amongst his peers in Westchester County and throughout New York State for his tireless work as the chairman of the Counterterrorism Zone 3. Sometimes those of us in small jobs, you guys are from New York City, but we focus on small things, and we lose sight of the big picture. And as I took time to think about the Boss of the Year award, I'm like, Mike's getting that award, There's no heroic deed, no heroic act, but it's, I think it's more of a recognition of his career, and in particular for his actions over the last several years. Tonight with us is Police Officer Louis Gioso, a former last year's recipient of the Distinguished Cross Award. And Louis was injured in a car accident when a stolen vehicle T-boned his police car at about 60 miles an hour. It was a horrific accident, and he suffered terrible injuries. Chief Cerrone was there that night, came to the scene, and he rode with Louis to the hospital that night in the ambulance. And I think until today, and including today, he won't recover until Louis comes back to work. From that night on, the chief was at his hospital room every day. Louis was in intensive care for several months. Mike was there every day. He arranged for, the families to be provided for, whether it be transportation, whether it be food, whether it be lodging, and he had our department and the resources of our small village really take care of him. We're a 22-man department, so even just to lose Louis for that period of time really has an effect on us. And with Mike, and me being the PBA president, I worked with Mike for 16 years. When I got out of rookie school, Mike was my sergeant. I've worked under him as sergeant, lieutenant, and now chief, as have most of the guys here from our department. So we recognize him not as just Chief Cerrone, but we recognize his work as Boss of the Year for his accomplishments throughout. Because Mike is the cop's cop. He is the guy that, as chief, he's out there. He wants to go on calls. He goes on calls. He shows up. He does what he has to do. He'll get out of the car in his uniform, direct traffic, render aid to somebody who's on ambulance call, do whatever it takes. If something was to go bad, he is the guy you want there with you. Because he will do what it takes to get it done, and he'll have your back at all times. He's not a saint by any means. He's very trying at times. He's not the kind of guy that you want on the call where maybe, you got the EDP and you got to talk him down. Not that guy. Look at him, he fits the stereotype. He's 35 years on the job, a Navy vet, he's got the mustache, the whole 9 yards. He's not coddling in a lot of ways. But he is the guy that you want there for a department. Somebody comes in, they have a complaint, well, they better have a valid complaint because he's not hearing it otherwise. He'll look into it, but he's a cop's cop and he has your back. He's done a lot of things for our department. He's, like I said, we're a small department, so he's taken us kind of into the next level. Upgraded our weapons. He's constantly sending more and more people for training of all types, and he's really taken us into the next era in police work. He's constantly fighting for us, budget-wise. The mayor's here. I'm sure he'll tell you, Mike is, they may even consider him a little stubborn at times. But he's quite the fighter. When there's a fight and he's got his mindset to it, he goes all the way. Like I said, we're a small department, 22 guys. Those of us here tonight have known Mike for years. I've worked with him for 16 years. We're proud that he has received this award, well-deserving. And I'd just like to thank the Shields for honoring tonight.